everybody. We are at the MCE project. We are very happy today to host Mr. Marty Friedman. Thank you, Marty. Hi, how are you?
I am Ahmed.
Ahmed. He's the guy who will be talking to you on all the things that we don't, normal mortals, we don't understand about the music and all the details. So he's the one who will be
I'll do my best.
to you.
I'll do my best.
We will be also having the support of Oumaima, who will be the interviewers.
Hi there.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Oumaima. Pleased to meet you as well.
Say it again.
Oumaima.
Oumaima, what a sweet name that is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the new episode of the Moroccan Close Encounters. This episode will be hosting the almighty Marty Friedman. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a very big pleasure for me.
Thank you for accepting our invitation and welcome to our close encounter.
All right, very nice. Thank you.
So I'm gonna go and dig a little bit in history. So a little bird told me that you were a big fan of American sports. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And a little event happened in your life, which was the Kiss concert. Am I right?
Yeah.
That changed everything in your life right now. So can you tell us a little bit more about your feelings towards this?
Yes, when I was a little kid, all I cared about was sports. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. I just loved sports. I loved playing. I wasn't very good, but I loved it. But I was kind of too skinny and too short and just not really athletic in my appearance. So I really couldn't compete with the other people playing sports so well that when I saw Kiss, what they were doing, and I said, that's very athletic. These guys are around and going crazy, and there's a lot of action going on. It's not a sport. I think I could do what those guys are doing. And so I changed from sports to music in just one day from seeing that.
Wow, that's a big change. That's a really massive one. I'm gonna introduce Ahmed, my side interviewer right here. Ahmed is one of the finest guitarists in Morocco. He's really talented and pretty humble, as we can see. So I'm gonna give him the word.
How's my Japanese for starters?
That's great.
I've been dreaming of talking to you, well, since, I don't know, man. But I'm gonna, since ages indeed.
Ages ago, yeah.
Well, okay, let's get to it. If you could a little bit, please, describe your sound. I'm not talking about gear, but describing how you think about or the process of how you compose. How do you compose?
Well, that's kind of two questions.
All right.
Add my sound, or how do I compose? Which one do you want me to answer?
How do you compose? The process behind your composition.
Always hearing melodies in my head. I can't sleep. You know, I'm walking around in the day with melodies. At night I hear melodies. I'm always hearing music, whether it's other people's music or new or imaginary music, or just there's always music going on. And if I am hearing something that I think is something I can develop, or something that I feel is beautiful, I will just stop what I'm doing and just start working on that particular piece of music. If it starts to have potential, I will do a recording of that and just keep the recording. And so I have thousands of these little recordings, little melodies, little chord progressions, little connections, little transitions. I've got hard drives and phones full of them. So whenever it comes time to start working on a record, I'll go back and listen to those things. And most of them are just junk, but sometimes there's a little treasure there, and I'll find one little piece that I like and work on that.
All right. Do you mean, when you say you record, do you mean something that pops in your head and you record it with your phone, or you go directly to your home studio?
Either way, if I'm in the home studio, then I'll just record it for real in the studio. But if I'm not, I'll just put it in my phone. And so I have these ideas all over the place. So it's really easy to find them when I'm starting preparation for an album. I just listen through all the ideas. And also, when you take a little time away from the creation of it, then you can listen to it with a very honest ear. Sometimes creating something, you think it's so great, you think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you give it time, then you can listen to it honestly and say, well, I don't even remember this. This is not so great. That's a good thing that I've been doing forever. I just always like to give it time. And if it still sounds good a couple months or a year later, then it's worth working.
I understand. And regarding the recording with your phone, I do this sometimes. You know, I've been driving my bike or something, and a melody pops in my head, so I press record and hum it. You know, and you know, I'll save it once I get home. You know, I pick up the guitar and try to emulate the same thing, and it's like a creative process that keeps flowing. You know. I guess that's the same thing with you.
It's exactly the same. And you know, obviously, if you don't have a guitar in front of you, you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe write it down on paper or whatever it is. It's exactly the same thing.
Perfect. I want to talk about your. I'm gonna say this: your signature sound or signature scale. Probably best known as the Japanese scale, because for me, seriously, this is a scale that touched me so much. When I started learning guitar, I've been I tried to break out from the traditional pentatonic scale. Well, I've known your music even before I play guitar. So I went back and forth between a lot of guitarists, but your specific solos touched me in a certain way, and I tried to elaborate that even more. I've been searching for guitar lesson, your own guitar lessons, and all of that, and I want to mention melodic control. This is a very, very, if anyone who haven't watched it yet, please do, because melodic control is very good. Can you please talk a little bit about the inspiration? How did you come up with the Japanese scale? And I know also you do play the Chinese scale and all that.
Well, thank you for your information. I have to tell you that the way I play has very little or maybe nothing to do with scales.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people try to analyze my music, they will attach like a scale name to something.
Yes.
But a scale is just a sequence of notes.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever. That's really, you can't just say, okay, learn this sequence of notes, a scale, and then you're going to make music with it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I think the easiest way to explain this to you would be that I was very much influenced by music of different countries, different cultures, traditional music, and motifs and phrases from those types of music. So, say for example, if you're talking about Japanese music, I might emulate a melody that would be played on a Japanese koto, or a melody that would be played on a shamisen, or a melody that would be sung with a voice.
Sound. Okay.
More than copying instruments, I copied voices. And not only Japanese, in other countries, and in Chinese music, I did a lot of learning from that, and also from the Middle East. And I'm sure in Morocco you have traditional music.
Yes,
of course,
yes,
yeah.
we do.
On guitar, and interesting to kind of mix it into heavy metal.
Yes.
What I would also say, though, is you have to be careful because I think if you put too much of that ethnic taste in heavy metal, it just sounds funny. It just sounds silly. It sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
your grandparents' folk songs or something.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is a little bit goes a long way. If you
All
look,
right.
there's a lot of my guitar playing. It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of basic rock, but occasionally I will use motifs that I soaked in from other cultures. And those motifs take up so much space when you're listening to them. They bring you so much attention that you don't notice that the majority of my stuff is just really heavy rock playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, a little bit goes a long way. It's kind of like spice. If you put too much spice,
too much. Yeah,
it taste the meal anymore. So what I'm trying to say is, if you learn some scale, let's say a Japanese scale, a Japanese sequence of notes, and just put it all over everything, it's just going to sound funny.
yes.
Yes.
A little bit goes a long way, and a little bit um, melodies goes a long way. So my playing is based on melodies and not the scales or modes or patterns so much.
Absolutely, yeah.
I hope it makes sense.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
does make sense.
I
Yeah.
absolutely understand your point because, well, as you said, and also when you said you try to emulate the the vocalists, I think this is, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably the best way to come up with the to for phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best way for phrasing is, try to emulate a singer.
I don't know if you can say best for anything, but it's certainly a fantastic thing to do. And I did a lot of that when I was a teenager. Um, I copied the vibratos of a human voice, and the way a human voice sings a vibrato is different from a guitar.
Yeah,
And guitarists' vibratos are very similar from one guy to the next. Very, very similar.
exactly, exactly.
Human voice is each person has their own unique way of vocalizing a melody, and so I found that when I started emulating a human voice and the way they shake the notes and the way they tremolo the notes, I found that I had a whole lot more. Um, I'm thinking in Japanese phrasing, um, more options of how to phrase a note. You know,
Okay.
if you're playing guitar type phrases, there's not a whole lot of options in ways to vibrate the notes. They pretty much
Yeah.
do the same sound like
Well,
the rock thing.
except in bending, I guess.
Yes, and a human voice, if you try to be a human voice on guitar, it opens up the possibilities much more. And that was a very important thing for me. So I know that you understand that.
Yeah. You mentioned vibrato. Well, yeah, and you have also said this in another. You have also said this in another probably guitar lesson or an interview. You said that the vibrato is what makes a guitar player unique. Well, in my ear, and every time I hear your own vibrato, I know this is you. When I hear Steve Vai, I know this is Steve Vai.
I mean, it's his own signature.
Yeah, because it's the personality.
Yeah, and if pretty girls can tell the difference by the vibrato, you know you're in good shape.
So I have an intriguing question that has been like eating all of my brain. Why did you choose Japan? Why not any other country in the world? Why specifically Japan?
Well, it could have been anywhere, really. I've been to so many places around the world on tour. Very sadly, I've never been to Morocco yet.
Well, we should.
To do something, this is the first step towards that. So maybe
Yeah.
we can make that happen. But I've been to so many countries and enjoyed so many different places and different cultures. And every time I went to Japan, I just really fell in love with the music.
Okay.
Japanese current music. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, I like the traditional music as well, but what's on the top 10, what's on the radio, what's on TV. I just really, really like the current music scenes in Japan, and I was starting to get disillusioned with the current music scene in America, my home country.
Yeah.
So, as a musician and as an artist, I felt like to succeed in America, I would really have to change my musical direction,
Directions, yeah.
that I wouldn't like to. So in Japan, I thought I want to do what people are doing in the charts in Japan. I really like this music. So I thought I could really add something to the music scene in Japan. It was strictly musical why I came.
So it was the music that made you fall in love with the country. So I hope that our music will make you fall in love in our country.
I would love to hear it. I'm going to definitely look into it. You definitely look into it.
That would be great to have you.
We'll probably share something with you later. Yeah, yes, we do. Well,
First time I've talked to anyone from Morocco.
Oh,
I'm so pleased that this is
like
well,
we are the first ones.
yeah.
We're so pleased we're
I'm
the
so
first
pleased
ones.
to
Something
To
special.
share this
I'm
very well.
honored that you even care about my opinion on anything.
Oh,
no,
of course
man.
we do.
Of course we do. Well, as a guitar player, I have to mention you and Jason Becker. So I have to mention Cacophony. These two albums, I mean, man, any guitar player who listens still, and they stood the test of time, man. They've been released in 87 and 88. So Speed Metal Symphony and then Go Off. Can you walk us through, please, the writing process, if there was any?
The first album I pretty much written myself before I met Jason.
Wow.
Okay.
80% of it was done.
So was it a solo album first?
It was gonna be a solo album. It was gonna be
All right. All right.
And then I met Jason, and I just fell in love with him. He was still very young and didn't have any experience, but I could just see so much potential. And when I saw him, I'm like, if I'm ever going to play this music live, he's the only guy I know who's going to be able to do it with me. And so I kind of sacrificed my solo album to put the band together with him.
Wow.
Very well.
Listen to those two records. The first one is like, it's good. I mean, the contribution of the second album, the ways he grew on guitar is just unbelievable. I mean, on Speed Metal Symphony, he's basically just playing my harmonies, really.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
With little ad-lib solos.
Okay.
Basically just harmonizing with my parts that I had already written. A couple ad-lib solos, but they're okay. But if you listen to Go Off, Jason's playing his ad-lib solos, all the things that he played on Go Off.
Yeah.
It was off the chart, yeah.
They're just 1 year apart. It was only like a year in between them. I've never seen a human being progress as fast as.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the year Go Off, your first solo album came out. Dragon's Kiss, I guess. Yeah. And he was a guest on several songs, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
We both guested on each other's music.
Yeah.
So, what did you miss the most about the metal scene in America?
I don't understand what you mean.
Like, let's take into consideration the past 2 years that we've been living a worldwide crisis known as COVID. So a lot of change, like a lot of things have changed. Within those things are like live shows and scenes. So is there like something specific in the United States within the metal scene that you miss the most? Something that like you long to, maybe?
I never really looked at. I'm sure there is something called a metal scene, but I never really separated the metal scene from anything else. There's either
Wow.
music that I like, and that's it. Sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's not metal, sometimes it's classical music, foreign music, whatever.
Yeah, it's all.
It's
Yeah,
all one thing. I never.
it's a one thing. That's really good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think if I was like 15 years old, I would definitely separate it.
Yeah.
Metal and
and
everybody else.
and anything
Yeah.
else, indeed.
Indeed.
Understand that. I understand it, and that was me when I was 15. I really
Yeah.
understand it.
perfect.
And I love it because those people really have a great spirit. I love it.
Yeah, great energy. Yeah.
I'm not, I miss being able to travel worldwide. I've toured Japan during this crisis here. I toured in April. I did a solo tour, about 7
Yeah.
cities. I'm going to do another tour in July, but I really want to do international touring more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Of
safe
course.
to do so. Then I'm going to do that, and that's what I miss the most: being
Yeah.
in the country and meeting people from other countries. Of course, it's very nice meeting you here, but be face to face.
Yeah, that would be much better. Let's go back to Japan.
Yeah.
And there is a show called Rock Fujiyama, which is, well, for me, I've watched so many episodes. Seriously. One question: who's your favorite guests? I guess it went for 4 seasons, right?
Oh yeah. On a Rock Fujiyama, last 4 seasons, there were
Indeed.
52 shows. Um, of course, we are starting a new Rock Fujiyama YouTube channel in English coming very soon.
Wow.
Ah,
Yeah.
very well.
That. Go to that Rock Fujiyama channel and get set up with that. It's starting slowly, but it's going to be something really cool.
Will do.
My favorite guest of all the Rock Fujiyamas, it's got to be Andrew WK. I loved all of the guests. Everyone was so cool, and there was a lot of Japanese guests. There were some foreign guests.
Yeah. There was Paul Gilbert.
And
Uh,
such a great party on the show.
awesome.
Um, just perfect for the show because you kind of have to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
Indeed.
He was the perfect guest for the show. But I think I loved everybody on that thing. We had so much fun.
Sure.
The fact that people in Morocco have heard of that show just blows my
I have a specific question. That's seriously my own question. Regarding Rock Fujiyama, the episode with Kerry King from Slayer. The moment when you asked him to play Hotel California.
Other than metal, what kind of music do you like?
Elton John,
Elton John?
Eagles.
Eagles? Can you play Hotel California by the Eagles?
I can't believe you asked me to play such a shitty fucking tune. Don't you know? I play in fucking Slayer. What the hell are you asking me, man? I can't believe I did this fucking TV show.
I know for technical purpose you do follow the chord progression as you solo. How was your reaction when he didn't accept to play it?
I don't remember.
It's still on YouTube.
15 years ago, so I don't remember any of the content of the shows.
All
I mean, he was dying to ask this
Oh,
question
yeah, man, I was
all day
dying
long.
to
He
ask
was
this
like
question.
keeping it to himself.
I should have. I guess if it's on YouTube, I could have seen it.
Yeah, should.
I don't remember at all. I vaguely remember us playing like some kind of game with.
Yeah, with CDs, albums.
Yeah.
Faintly remember that, but no. But he's
Yeah.
a good guy, and
Indeed.
I haven't
But the
seen him since that we toured together many years before that, so it was cool of him to come on the show.
Very well. But you know, my point was in because you love improvising over the chord changes of that song. Is that right? Hotel California.
Really?
Absolutely, he said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs in the world was that.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a monument. It's not a song for me.
Indeed.
I think of it as a monument, like something that you have like to keep intact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an Eagles fan. Yeah. It doesn't really stand out to me at all.
Very well.
Yeah. So, will you be open to jam alongside Moroccan artists?
I would
Maybe like Ahmed one day.
love that. I would love
One day. One day, probably. I hope.
I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you.
You didn't like you've never came across any Moroccan metal music?
No, I really haven't. And I believe that I've never really met someone who said, I'm from Morocco.
Wow.
Whoa.
I remember that. I'm sure people from Morocco have come to my show. It's,
Most definitely.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, I'm sure that's happened, but I just don't. I wouldn't know the band that represents Morocco. And maybe who's the band that represents Morocco?
That's a really hard.
Yeah, well,
there's so many bands.
Yeah, there's so many bands.
So many.
No one has made it.
My favorite? My favorite, they split. Like, they split like 4 years ago, I guess.
What were they called?
Mean Streets. Streets.
Street.
As a street. Yeah, they were Mean Street. But they split and they never finished.
Well,
yeah.
my favorite is called Vicious Vision.
Vicious Vision, yeah, they're good.
If you go onto YouTube, can you find both of these bands on YouTube?
Oh
Yeah, of course.
There's some content on YouTube.
Yeah.
Alright, so now I got to look for it.
In your last album, Tokyo Jukebox number 3, there is a song. This is another personal question. There is a song called Senbun Sakura. Is it based on the Kuchiki Byakuya Bankai? Or no?
That I don't know. I know this
All right.
by a lot of Japanese artists.
All right.
Love the Wagaki band version of it.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's just a song, a very Japanese sounding song. I want.
Yes, yeah. Very Japanese sounding indeed.
Yeah, I can see that Japan made a big influence and impact on not only on your music but on your lifestyle as well.
Well, since '88, since your solo career, yeah. Once we hear any song, we know this is Japanese. We know this is Marty Friedman.
Marty Friedman, yeah, exactly. It's like
so. Well,
it's a signature.
yeah, it touched me. Okay, as a guitar player and a little bit of a geek, I know that you use you've been with Jackson and Ibanez, PRS, and now you're back with Jackson. If you could talk a little bit about this, please.
Yeah, if you when you have a long and you do a lot of different kinds of activities and different work better for different purposes. And so I've changed, I've changed guitar companies several times in my career. Very, very fortunate that many of these companies have made good tomorrow for me, and they've done really well, and they've sold well every time. And promoted them nicely. I'm very thankful and honored to make a product with my name on it. And it always boils down to the people in the companies that I want to be working with. Sometimes the product, yes, the product is important, but I think all of those companies and most guitar companies around the world make a great product. So now what? Now you have to talk about the people.
The people, the relationship with, yeah.
Relationship is equally as important to the product. Obviously, the quality of the product has to be fantastic, or else I wouldn't even be talking to the people, because there are a lot of fantastic quality products out there. So then it comes down to just, do I want to deal with this person, and does this person help me do my business of making music? And so that's those are the reasons why you change companies. Because companies change, people change jobs, they do something
Yeah.
else. It's that simple. It's not like, oh, this guitar's no good anymore, I'm going to this guitar.
All right.
Yeah.
I know also you use Angle as an amp. Yeah, you have your own signature.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know also that you hate the word shredder.
I guess that you've prepared something, right?
Yeah. Marty, would you be interested if I can show you some of my interpretation of the Japanese scale? All right.
Go ahead.
Just bear with me, please.
How's that?
Really good.
I guess we will be closing the interview right now. I will give like one last question to Ahmed.
Well, being a guitar pedal fanatic, well, because I collect pedal, I have like 20 pedals or something. Yeah, which is a very high number here. You encouraged me to go for pedals instead of multi-effects. Yeah, I saw in the guitar lesson, electric guitar day one. I've seen it all, man. I've seen it all.
That's a real fan right here. That's a real one.
My pleasure. If you had to have a signature pedal, what would it be and what would you call it?
Actually, I do have a signature pedal out there. I'm not, I don't know. I don't remember what I said in that video. I'm not a big pedal guy.
I know.
I'm not a big pedal guy. Just recently, I put out a signature pedal, which I don't have it in front of me, but it's got a tube on it. It's got an actual tube coming out of it.
Okay.
And what you do is everybody uses amp simulators nowadays, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like Kempers and things inside your computer.
Yeah. I don't like that.
They don't use amps. So if you use my signature pedal with a tube on it, you just put it before your computer, and it gives you the sound of a tube amp, even though you're only using an amp simulator.
All right. I will look it up.
Look up Marty Friedman Beyond.
Beyond. All right.
Yeah. And,
Roger that. Roger that.
A lot of home recording and stuff like that.
It helps. It helps with home recording.
Yeah, because with home recording, sometimes you're not able to use your full amp.
The 4x12, yeah.
Making a quick demo and you don't want to set up all that stuff. So you use like an amp simulator, which are very good nowadays. But if you use my little pedal with the tube in it, it just sounds even more like a real amp. It gives you the actual tube sound.
All right.
Through an actual tube, but it's this small. So yeah, I would recommend that, but like I'm not really too smart about pedals. I don't really have a lot. The only one I use is this.
Yes. I've seen it in There was a recent interview that you did with.
I mean,
the captain.
it's not a last question with you, I guess. So I believe it will never be a last question
Yeah,
with you.
I'm sorry.
Just go.
I gotta squeeze the most
it's
of it, man. You know.
I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one.
I gotta
Go
squeeze
ahead.
the most of it.
Go ahead. I'll give you this one.
Well, that was. I was just confirming that I've seen this pedal. This is a Maxon. Yeah.
Well, in my case, I mean, I'm intrigued to know whether you'll be back on the mic singing again.
Well, I only really,
I mean, I've heard that you were a bit good at singing Elvis. Am I right?
that's about it. That's all I
Yeah. Hound dog.
Yeah.
You guys really did your homework. I love that.
Thank you.
I know you gotta go, but I've got a question since we're talking about Elvis and we're talking about Morocco.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a big collector of Elvis records from foreign countries. Now, it might be a pretty difficult thing to do, but I wonder if there's like some kind of record shop in Morocco that might have an actual Moroccan pressing of an Elvis Presley record.
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it as well.
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it. We have record shops and
yeah, we
everything,
do.
but one that
That has
No,
the Elvis. I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it.
Like people in real time, like in the 50s and 60s and 70s, in Morocco they had records of Elvis.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
they did. Yeah.
Yes.
Records, if they still exist, where would they be in Morocco? Like a Morocco eBay or
It-
something like that?
No. He'll find them in shops,
Yeah.
in record shops. We have record shops here in Casablanca.
We do have here in
Here in
Marrakesh
Casablanca, we
as well.
have so
Yeah.
many. It's like the biggest city here in Morocco. We have so many record shops that you can find an Elvis record for sure. Yes.
So that's the thing.
I'll keep an eye on it as well.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and I will send it to you. I guess. I mean, we'll like hit you up, tell you that it's here.
One thing that when I go to Morocco to play, which hopefully that will be very soon.
Yeah.
I hope
So
so.
what I'm going to want to do on my time off, I'm going to want to go to these record shops.
Yeah, we'll be happy to take you.
I'm happy to go with you. And also find the Moroccan music. See if there's something that appeals to me. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of Moroccan music that I will enjoy.
I mean, you'll be amazed. You'll be
Yeah,
amazed
yeah.
by the variety of
variety
Moroccan
of culture,
music.
indeed,
It's
yeah.
pretty. It's wide. It's really wide.
Just Mohammed Darwisha, by the way.
Yeah, Mohammed Darwisha, yeah,
It's a
wow.
major example.
It's Berber.
Yeah, this is a.
In doing that, and that's really how I discovered a lot of music around the world. I go to
Yes.
records, and I go to these weird record shops, and then they say, "Well, listen to this. This is the biggest thing in Uruguay right now. Check it out."
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So I get that CD or record, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to do when I go to Morocco.
I guess you'll be mind blown once you're here because we have like different types of music depending on the city placements and
Any region.
and
yeah.
regions and everything. So
Yeah.
north is north, center is center, south is south, Berber is Berber, and
Or
even within
east,
Berber, it's pretty wide and different. It's like within Berber we have 4 genres of music. They're all
Can't wait. I'm
yeah. It's a spider nest.
Indeed.
Yeah.
definitely getting over there.
That's great. So that will be I mean
The end of it. Yeah.
the end of it.
Yeah, the end of it.
Sadly, I will leave my place to Saeed, though he will be joining us like in a few seconds for the last word, of course.
Hi again, Marty. Thank you very much for this interview. We are very happy to host you, and I think that it will not be the last time with you, Marty. I hope. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Sayonara.